as promised, we are going to do a Lionsgate home media collection stream with Movie&GameLover98. And this time when we get to the Thomas releases, we are not going to show off the reprints that Anchor Bay originally released. And here he is.
Hey, Flicka, how are we doing today?
Great.
Yep.
Now,
How the
I don't
stream
have
is.
that much Lionsgate releases. The only Lionsgate releases that I have are Clifford and Thomas.
I have those things too. I have a certain amount of 2 Cliffords and a lot of these Lionsgate Toss releases I have.
But do you have more? Do you have other Lionsgate releases besides those, or?
I have one film called Abduction, but I don't really think I like that film as much, so I think it would be okay to just show just Clifford and Thomas, even though this is literally called just Lionsgate releases.
Yeah. Yeah. So, first off, let's see. If we start alphabetically, that means the first release that I'm going to show off is this one is a DVD of Clifford the Big Red Dog, A Big Help, released on September 9th, 2008.
Yep, the same day Thomas the Great Discovery released on DVD, because speaking of that, we'll be showing the Great Discovery eventually soon, but we've got to show all the Clifford releases that Lionsgate put out.
Speaking of which, that is actually one of the trailers on this Clifford DVD.
Yeah, but it has the... I think it shows the Thomas the Great Discovery Now on DVD trailer where this guy's voice goes, where it's a bit higher.
It does.
Yeah, when it literally goes... where it basically goes, hop on board to discover the most exciting adventure the island of Sodor has ever seen in the all-new Thomas and Friends feature-length movie, Thomas and Friends, The Great Discovery, guest starring Pierce Brosnan as the narrator. Unlike on Engines and Escapades, it has a different one, and the same thing on that one Bob the Builder DVD from 2008.
And, of course, it's got the episodes. This only contains 5 stories: Mr. Beekman's Special Day, Little Big Pup, Big Fetch, Captain Birdwell's Treasure, and A Big Help.
Yeah, I do have only 2 D titles of Clifford that I have, Flicka, that by Lionsgate.
Well, Doggy Detectives actually comes first.
Okay, and then Dog House Adventures goes after that.
Yeah, but I have one Clifford title that starts with D before I show off either of those. But
Okay, while you're grabbing...
that makes our next Clifford release from Lionsgate called Best Buddies.
Yep. That DVD originally released in...
I think sometime in 2012 or something. And this contains the stories A Fairy Tale, Cleo Comes to Town, Promises, Jetta's Sneak Peek, Ears Have It, and Saturday Morning.
I didn't know they had an episode called Saturday Morning.
Oh, that's the episode where T-Bone misses Saturday morning time with Sheriff Lewis because Sheriff Lewis had to go to work.
Yeah. And while you're grabbing the next one, Flick, I think I could do this while I'm waiting. I like to do either explain stuff or doing impressions while you're grabbing something. I think I'll just explain. I recently just got a new plush from my work just today, earlier today. It's of Donald Duck. Or he goes, yeah. Or it's like he says when they do the roll call in Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. They do, when the guy calls out roll call.
Oh.
And then the others go. I think when Pluto barks out right here. Yeah, the roll call literally goes Donald says present, and then Daisy and Goofy go here, and so do Minnie. But for Mickey and Pluto tries to bark out right here, and then Mickey lastly says right here.
And this next one is called Celebrate with Clifford, and this is actually the very last Clifford the Big Red Dog DVD release to ever come out of the series.
Released back in
2013.
Yep. Around the time that the Renaissance era of Thomas was coming soon.
And
or if it was
seven stories, which are Best Gift, Clifford's Carnival, Clifford on Parade, Screaming for Ice Cream, Clifford the Pirate King, Team Spirit, and Tough Enough. And here's a disc for Celebrate with Clifford. And there's a surprise bonus disc included, which is a Lionsgate, which is a Lionsgate reprint of Happy Birthday Clifford that was originally released by Artisan.
Yeah. And luckily I did not bring the Clifford live action film because that was we did that for the Paramount collection. This one, but for Lionsgate, we're going to go show ones with the John Ritter series. Yes.
Yes. And there is one film that has John Ritter as Clifford, but we will show that once we get to the Warner Brothers collection.
Okay.
Our next collection video after this one.
Yeah, it's going to be the next one is going to be on Warner Brothers releases because luckily I do have some good Warner Brothers releases to show, I guess. Well, you'll see because I might have a few of them. I might have a select few of them on physical media when we get to Warner Brothers next week on October the 4th, Flicka. But yeah, let me see if I can do an impression while... It's another one at least.
It's a 2005 DVD release of... 2005 DVD release of Clifford Tries His Best and Clifford's Schoolhouse. This was released by Lionsgate Home Entertainment.
That technically qualifies Lionsgate Home Entertainment. Yeah, because unfortunately, yes, these I actually didn't want to actually grab the Rescue Heroes movie and the Barbie as Rapunzel movie, Flicka, because those ones are by Family Home Entertainment. because Family Home Entertainment is not the same as Lionsgate Home Entertainment.
This one's actually released by Lionsgate and FHE. Originally, it was Artisan and FHE. Then Artisan went defunct in 2004, but FHE stuck around for a little bit longer until 2005. It's got Dog Park, Big Sleepover, and Birdie Makes Free, Clifford's Doggy Reunion, Teacher's Pet, Nobody's Perfect, Clifford and the Beanstalk Can Get Well.
He says something about the episode Teacher's Pet, not to be confused with the Disney film Teacher's Pet.
Yeah, but the episode aired for a few years before the film.
Yeah, because it came out in 2004, the Disney film Teacher's Pet.
And that was the disc. And our next Lionsgate Clifford release.
I know it starts with...
It still starts with C.
Okay, we're not... These two I know I'm holding, because these are the only two Clifford releases I have. But I would like to get the others soon. Yep.
Clifford's Big Halloween. Released on September 12th, 2006.
Now this... What the heck was that noise? Did you just... was that... What the heck was that noise?
It was just... me.
Ew. Anyway. Okay, let's just keep going.
All right. Now, what's interesting is that this DVD starts off with the first 4 episodes from the VHS released in 2002, which were Boo, Clifford's Carnival, Leave of Absence, and Come Back Mac. But after that, we got 4 bonus episodes, which are New Dog in Town, Dino Clifford, Not Now I'm Busy, and The Trouble with Kittens.
Yes, which I know The Trouble with Kittens was a not so good episode. Yeah, the one where Mr. Bleatman was such a jerk. Or no, I think of a different episode.
Well, Mr. Bleakman was kind of a jerk to Clifford in The Trouble with Kittens, but not to the extreme lengths. He was blaming Clifford for things that the kittens were actually doing.
Yeah, which is very unacceptable, because you usually not supposed to blame someone else for that.
And also...
Yep, I know another impression while you're grabbing something, Flicka, because I think just to make it cool, I know what impression I know very well off the top of my head, where it basically goes...
Our next release...
You're a kiddo, and thank you for waiting patiently.
That's from Roller Coaster Dragon.
Yep, but when the man says thank you for being so patient.
All right, here is Dog Days of Summer. Released in 2011.
Yep, indeed.
And this contains Special Delivery, Welcome to Birdwell Island, Doing the Right Thing, The Dog Who Cried Woof, and Jetta's Sweater.
Jetta's Sweater. Art.
All right, now we can show off our only two that you and I both have together, starting with.
Of course, you said Doggy Detectives right now.
Yes. Doggy Detectives.
It released back at some point in 2005.
This has 5 episodes, 3 of which I call bad episodes, and 5 I call good. Kibble Crook is a great episode. Same with Doggy Detectives. Who Moved My Bone? Ugh. That is a terrible episode because T-Bone and Cleo are fighting over a silly bone, and it keeps going on for too long. Then the next episode that comes after it is even worse because Jetta is acting like a complete jerk to Emily Elizabeth, and she accuses Emily Elizabeth of taking the medal when Clifford and the dogs already know that she did not even do such a thing.
Then the rest of the episodes are Mac's Secret Dog.
Mac's Secret Dog Club. This is another bad episode, but this is not as bad as the others. It's a lighter Big Bad Dog episode that gets a 4 out of 10 rating because of Mac being kind of a jerk to T-Bone, excluding him from joining his club.
That's very unacceptable of him to do.
Then the last 3 are pretty good. Truth About Dogs and Cats, Goodbye T-Bone, and Magic is in the Air.
Yeah, VHS. Luckily, I don't need to go near this, but I don't know, like where this image of the 2 kittens in the with the next to this. I don't know what that's from. Isn't that from one of the bad episodes? These 2 cats.
No, it's from the episode "The Truth About Dogs and Cats."
Okay, but I think one of these other of the 4 pictures means it's from one of the bad episodes here.
Oh,
I think the top image is either the top or the bottom image or the second middle image.
Oh, none of the images are from the bad episodes here.
Okay, even though they have the bad ones listed anyway. But anyway, our cases are the same. Mine is a different opener for the disc.
All right, next one. You and I will both get.
Well, I have it already, which is Doghouse Adventures, released back in 2007.
Yeah. This was released on February 6th, 2007.
Yes, we know that was the same day Thomas Milkshake Muddle hit DVD.
This contains
unlike
9 stories.
Yeah, unlike the Thomas DVD Milkshake Muddle, which had a stupid, lazy menu, this might have a better menu than the Milkshake Muddle.
This does have a much better menu in that there's more bonus features.
At least they put the bonus features right here. Yeah, they're right here. Luckily, they made a menu, Lionsgate, for this Clifford release, but 20th Century Fox didn't do it for the Milkshake Muddle DVD of Thomas.
The episodes here, they are Clifford Cleans His Room, Doggy Garden, Screaming for Ice Cream, Jetta's Project, Then King Bob, Clothes Don't Make the Dog, Limelight Fright, Clifford's Cookie Craving, and Guess Who's Coming to Birdwell.
Discs are the same copy. So. All right.
And I still have some more Clifford releases from Lionsgate to go over.
Yeah, okay. And this impression I'll do while you're grabbing this thing, Flicka, is "Oi, Fred, what you doing?"
Oh, that's just a random Flintstones impression.
Yeah, like when Barney says "Hiya, Fred."
Oh, like you say, there goes a henpecked husband. And then Fred's like, "I'm gonna henpeck you on the nose, wise guy."
Yeah, I think they're just considered just friends, Fred and Barney.
Yeah.
I don't think they're considered brothers, but anyway, here's the next Clifford release.
Here is the next one. This is Everyone Loves Clifford and Good Friends, Good Times. This is another 2005 release that Lionsgate Home Entertainment and FHE put out together. Now, it's got Jetta's Tall Tale, Everyone Loves Clifford, Clifford Grows Up, Cyber Puppy Problems. They're from the respective VHS releases, but on the DVD, there's a bonus episode called Welcome to the Doghouse for Everyone Loves Clifford, and for Good Friends, Good Times, same pattern. First 4 episodes, Friend in Need, Stinky Friends, Jetta's Friend, and Friends Forever, are included on the VHS. And then there's a bonus story, Forgive and Forget, which is on the DVD only.
Yeah, I think this would be a perfect addition to put in a Valentine's Day DVD collection section. Or I think because it says Everyone Loves Clifford, because it's got like. Even though I don't think
there's another Valentine's Day themed Clifford release.
Yeah, I got the. Yeah, this is what I do with holiday releases. I buy them on DVD twice. Depending on if it's Valentine's Day, Easter, Halloween, Thanksgiving.
Next one is a DVD of. Oh, here's one. It's another one from 2006.
A different one at that.
With Clifford.
Released back in August 2006.
July 25th.
July 25th. Shoot. My bad. Anyway.
Episodes on growing up with Clifford. They are Blanket Blues, Dog for a Day, Food for Thought, Nothing to Fur but Fur Itself, When I Grow Up, Another Fine Mess, Fishing Lessons, and Baz Goes Down the Tubes. Here's the disc. Next DVD release is kind of interesting because.
Yep. Yeah, and Wired. And yeah, another one
copies of one. One has the original Artisan disc inside, and one has the Lionsgate disc inside. And this is pretty interesting because this has the original Artisan Entertainment case, King Clifford and Be My Big Red Valentine, but inside is a Lionsgate DVD reprint of Be My Big Red Valentine.
Oh my gosh. That's kind of like how the Thomas's Friends Help Out DVD, this guy has the 2009, the first Lionsgate artwork of Thomas's Friends Help Out, but it has the Friends Help Out reprint disc inside. Well, even though that's a little different in my perspective, but...
Not to mention, this DVD copy has updated previews from 2008 at the beginning. Kind of like my DVD of Playtime with Clifford, which speaking of which, I think that's the next Lionsgate Clifford release I'm going to show off next.
Yeah, and while you're grabbing it, Flicka, I would like to also address something. I do remember that if we're doing the Warner Brothers thing next week, the series of Friends just got a 4K release, and well, even though I can't buy it just yet, even though it just released the complete series of Friends on 4K, I would love to show it, but I don't have it yet because that's a sitcom from Warner Brothers, like some other show. But anyway,
speaking of which, Playtime with Clifford, that's my second to last Clifford release from Lionsgate that I have.
Yep, that's second to last, and you have one more Clifford release to go, and then that means after that we go into
Thomas next.
Yes, but I this time I brought just the Thomas releases just by Lionsgate. Even though some of these Lionsgate ones did get Universal re-releases too, just like how some of the Model Series ones got Universal re-releases, some of the older Lionsgate releases got Universal re-releases.
And we know that the Classic Series releases obviously got Lionsgate and Universal reprints, which we won't show those in this video. We'll only show the 3 new Lionsgate Thomas releases that I have.
Well, I think like a few of them, because I want to, like I said, we should show just the Adventure Pack of Season 12 when we get to it.
All right. Here is all right. This contains 10 episodes. This includes Tummy Trouble, Cleo Gets a Cone, Tie-Dyed Clifford, Teen Spirit, Follow the Leader, Topsy Turvy Day, That's Snow Why, Led Astray, Stars in Your Eyes, and Fairweather Friend. Here is the disc.
Yeah, you should. Well, you close the case first, and then now you'll grab the next release. As I was saying, Flick, someone commented on my Playing Thermix Playing Fun HMR DVD video HMR. He says that they should replace No Hitter with Zack Takes a Dive, but we already have Zack Takes a Dive on DVD.
Yeah.
I was like, dude,
or One Big Wish would be another. Would be
that
alternatives.
Maybe that Hands Together. Yeah, because Hands Together and Give Zack a Hand have something in common. Doing a dance with a particular song makes for good exercise. So that makes sense. But at least, like, yes, we know like how they do head, shoulders, knees, and toes in the Give Zack a Hand episode in both English and Spanish in Give Zack a Hand episode from Dragon Tales. But at least Spike is a nice guy.
All right. And the last Clifford Lionsgate release I have before we move on to Thomas is the new Baby on the Block.
Which unfortunately does have one bad episode we'll see in a minute. But luckily I can skip it because it's a DVD. So that's no need to fret.
Yeah. If you want to know what the bad episode is...
Well, we got to read the episodes first.
All right. It's got Baby Makes 4, Job Well Read, Who Me Jealous, Bunny in a Haystack, Babysitter Blues. That is the bad episode on here because Mr. Bleakman is a complete jerk to Clifford when he's babysitting him.
And of course, Baby Makes 4.
Baby Makes 4. I wouldn't call Baby Makes 4 bad. I would just call it meh. It's okay, but...
I thought you used to say it was a terrible episode because you know of how Baby Cosmo threw a tantrum because the loud noise...
Yeah, but it does have a sweet ending, and that's what caused me to bump this episode up to a meh.
That's kind of like equivalent of the Thomas the Babysitter episode on Ultimate Adventure Adventures. The only thing I liked was the ending,
and to be honest, it doesn't really get annoying until we get to the part where Jetta is banging on I believe pots and pans, causing Baby Cosmo to wake up.
Or not as comparable to Lights Out.
Well, yeah, speaking of which, the only part that I didn't like in that episode was when Baby Cosmo was throwing a fit over the power being out and wanting to watch silly fairy tales. All right. It makes 4, Job Well Read, Boomy Jealous, Bunny Haystack, Babysitter Blues. He's wonderful, Mr. Bleakman. Getting to Know You and No Baths for Cleo.
Getting to Know You is the very last episode of Clifford, along with the sister episode Little Big Pup. All right, so now that means we're all done with Clifford releases by Lionsgate. Luckily, this was just from the John Ritter series. Now we move on to...
You can show off the adventure pack first because it starts with A.
Well, I'm just going to show all my Thomas releases by Lionsgate. I sorted them all by release here. That's because I do it with every Thomas thing.
Okay.
So Great Discovery would obviously go first.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, The Great Discovery, yes, of course. The only Thomas special to be narrated by Piers Brosnan. Yep, this is the only, Thomas model series special to be distributed by Lionsgate. This never ever got a Universal re-release. And surprised this never got in the 10 movie birthday collection from 4 years ago in that dreadful year. It only got released in one particular DVD box set with Come Ride the Rails in Really Brave Engines, and this also got in the 3-movie pack with the other 2 movies, which were Calling All Engines and Hero of the Rails, which Hero of the Rails will be coming eventually, but I got to show the adventure pack. Show just the adventure pack, but yeah. And of course, the Great Discovery. Yes, like I said so much before, it reminds me of Thomas and Stanley feud. Thomas feels jealous of Stanley, kind of like the feud of Woody and Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story. Anyway, yep, that's the Great Discovery of the movie. Now let me show just the adventure pack. I know this box of the adventure pack, even though all 4 season 12 DVDs are from 2009, the box set released in November 2010.
Yeah, and obviously, I only have Railway Friends.
Yeah, so I think it's appropriate just to show just the adventure pack. But like I said, if you just get this adventure pack box Flicka, just make sure you don't tell your parents you bought another copy of Railway Friends. Just take your other Railway Friends from the copy you had before, just swap it. So make sure you keep your old Railway Friends disc.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least like some of these, yeah, I cannot even memorize the order of how they played on PBS Kids for all these season 12 DVDs of Thomas. But someone did make a video of this season, Flicka, where they did show Thomas and Friends season 12, but no CGI on screen, just fully model stuff. You know, the scenes where they don't even show the CGI masks, but they only show the fully model masks. In particular, one scene in Rosie's Carnival special, like in 2 scenes where they show some faraway shots, Rosie's in her fully model smiling face mask. Well, actually, like, it happens in these scenes. Particularly like this one where when Rosie explains out she thinks Birdie is tooting at her carnival special. And like after Stepney's got whacked in the head with some pink sugar from the runaway car of sugar, that showed another one of them. And I think another instance is like well, I know like in this one where they show the back of the models, they have to do this so they don't show their faces. But yeah, season 12's The Adventure Pack. Everyone should absolutely have this in their Thomas Home Media collection. Now on to Hero of the Rails. Yes, was that still that stupid error saying, why does it say here Tom speaking his own voice for the very first time, even though Magic Railroad was the first time to do that?
Well, maybe they're mentioning that hear him speak full on and seeing his lips sync up with the voice. Or even his mouth sync up, even though it doesn't happen in Thomas and the Magic Railroad.
Yeah, I don't know why people complain about Magic Railroad saying why the mouths don't move in that movie, even though that's nothing to complain about because Thomas Magic Railroad is still part of the model series technically. It was the first and only Thomas production to be filmed outside the UK. Well, technically, yeah, technically Thomas Magic Railroad was the first Thomas production technically to be filmed outside the UK. It was filmed in Toronto, Canada. But anyway, yep, Hero of the Rails. Luckily, I have the fixed copy where everywhere it says widescreen, because if you put this disc into the player, this will always play the movie in widescreen. They never played this in full screen. Yep, Hero of the Rails, that's all done. Now here's Holiday Express. This is the only release I have in a slimmer case, even though I want to get some other releases in Wooden Train bonus packs. Maybe that wouldn't be such a bad idea, honestly. Particularly Trust Thomas, James Learns a Lesson, Thomas Gets Bummed, Thomas Percy and the Dragon. And maybe I'll get the Runaway Engine, I don't know. or like the reprint of Thomas's Friends Help Out called Friends Help Out, or even though it's like the same packaging, it's just slimmer. That's why I know if I got the slimmer packaging of Trust Thomas. Yep, Holiday Express. Oh, yep. And luckily I know the dates, so I don't need to tell you the dates at all. I don't need to explain the dates at all. So, yep, Holiday Express. Luckily I kept the slim case copy to this day. And this DVD is almost going to be... This one's almost going to be... Well, this DVD is almost 15 years old. Once November hits, which will be at November 3rd. Yep, there's Holiday Express. Now here's Splish Splash Splosh. And like I did in the other ones, slipcover ones, I'm not going to open them up. But ones that don't have slipcovers, I will open them up. So we've been blowing this collection very fast.
Yeah. Yeah, this might be our shortest collection video or stream ever.
Because like I said, unfortunately, I don't have that many feature films by Lionsgate. Even if I had the Expendables films, those would go at letter E, the Expendables. I don't know, because a lot of people say they hated the fourth Expendables flick. You haven't seen any of the Expendables movies at all.
So I can't really judge them like that until I've seen them.
I think you may like them. They just have a ton of shooting more than foul language. Even though they are rated R, yes, the films, they got R ratings. I think they have more shooting and violence than foul language. Anyway, Splish Splash Splosh, the first full CGI episodic Thomas DVD, and the first one to feature Mr. Arkwright. No, Mr. Perkins segments. Mr. Arkwright was in season 12. Well, even though we will see a Mr. Perkins scenes on another CGI episodic Thomas DVD that does have Mr. Perkins mention Mr. Arkwright. Next up to Toss the Runaway Kite, which I'm surprised this and Splish Splash Splosh got released in theaters before they got DVD releases. One of the other season 13 mainstream releases we'll see later on also had that treatment. But yep, Toss Runaway Kite. Another one with Perkins. Yes, but even though may he rest in peace, the actor Ben Forster, who passed away sometime in 2017. I think around early 2017 is when Ben Forster passed away.
Yeah, it was due to cancer.
Yeah, stupid cancer for Ben Forster. Toss the Runaway Kite, that's all done. But unfortunately, these segments where Mr. Perkins is teaching the parrot Beaky how to behave well is also reused in Animals Aboard for some reason. But they could have just put something else in. They could have used the parrot one in Animals Aboard and put, the one we'll see later. But anyway. Next up to The Greatest Stories. First model series compilation DVD by Lionsgate to feature all the legendary narrators all in one set.
First release that is not an Anchor Bay release that contained classic series episodes too.
Yep. We all know released back on the 1st of June 2010, because next year this DVD...
Holiday Express, which only contains one episode of the classic series, this would be the first full-on to have more than one.
Yeah. This has... Well, even though he has the Snow Engine episode, which goes after Cranky Bugs, does play the new series intro for some reason, even though that's a classic series episode, I would have just loved if they used the Season 7 intro.
Yeah. Or maybe they could have used the UK narration of that with the original.
Use the original music with Michael Angelis instead of Brandon.
Yeah. I don't know what it gives, but
at least the seasons 1 through 5, they got the correct music.
I wish they included Percy's Chocolate Crunch on here as well.
The UK release of The Best of Thomas has that You know, they do have the episodes Percy's Chocolate Crunch and James Red Balloon in the UK release of the Best of Thomas, not the North American release, because that was before the whole media products came out. But I'm talking about the UK version from 2010. But they did re-release it in 2012 alongside with Best of Percy and James UK variants. But I'm so sad we never got a UK variant of Best of Gordon. They only did Thomas, Percy, and James in the UK. But luckily for us US Thomas fans, we got Percy, Thomas, James, and Gordon.
And they didn't even do one for Edward and Henry for either of those countries.
Yeah, even though they could have just used a CGI promo of Gordon on the UK release in 2012, like basically, because you know how on the completes. Well, no. The UK releases of Best of Thomas, Percy, and James, Thomas goes only from seasons 1 through 13 on the UK release, while in the UK Best of Percy and James, they go from seasons 1 through 15. Best of Gordon UK, if that was to exist, they could have done the same thing.
1 through 17.
1 through 17 for Gordon?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, greatest stories. And also, I know this has some new series, hit model era episodes. But if unfortunately, yes, this has the version of James Gets New Code where the truck's laugh is muted. But yeah, I can't show the original Track Stars DVD to compare because apparently I don't think we could do that either. Flicka do a Hit Entertainment home media collection stream where we show shows that were originally by Hit Entertainment.
Because I'm not really a fan of other Hit Entertainment shows besides Thomas.
Yeah, that would have to be a bypass. So anyway, yep. Because I don't think you have any releases by Anchor Bay themselves, like the company Anchor Bay before they went defunct.
I actually do have some Anchor Bay VHS releases that are not Thomas.
Maybe we could do the Anchor Bay.
Well,
that'll come.
Bay titles we will get to another time, but I will tell you that those Anchor Bay VHS releases that are not Thomas, the only other Anchor Bay titles I have are for VHS releases of baby songs with Hat Palmer.
Well, yeah, and even like ones by Kid Vision. Like I do have the Baby Goes songs for the Christmas release, sing along release, which that's not going to be shown either because that's a Kid Vision release. I'm surprised Kid Vision does well as Anchor Bay. But anyway, greatest stories, that's all done with.
Kid Vision also made Magic School Bus, believe it or not.
Which I want to get the Magic School Bus, the complete series. But anyway, here's Creaky Cranky, which does have a Mr. Perkins segment where this one he mentions Mr. Arkwright, Mr. Perkins, which back in the season 12 DVDs, Robert Slade played Mr. Arkwright. This one, like I said, Ben Forster plays Mr. Perkins. And like this one, Mr. Perkins has to get ready for a birthday surprise party for Mr. Arkwright, his friend. And so far, we have only 3 Driver Perkins segments on 3 CGI episodic Thomas DVDs.
All right.
Yeah, this does contain and oh boy,
unfortunately, this is the film that you don't like in the film franchise.
Misty Island Rescue, but there are some good things that do make up for the bad things. Like, well, first off, we all know the Blu-ray makes the movie look better, despite its terrible. The rhyming gets on my nerves, and I wish this movie played better than as well as The Great Discovery. But like I said, the Blu-ray picture quality makes the film look better. Despite I don't like the rhyming, Percy acting more worried, but I wish Stanley was by his side. Which I want to do an MS like an MS Paint trick to make Stanley add some extra dialogue when he's with Percy. Well, technically, Stanley does come back in the CGI series, technically, but he's right there behind Percy in some scenes. If they were to make him say some dialogue, he could have just said, agreed. He could have made Stanley say, they could have just made Stanley say agreed.
Yeah.
And make Sir Topham Hatt make Stanley go with Percy and with.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do know some people say they like the new character of the lifeboat captain. I'm surprised they named him that captain because he's like a rescue boat who. I think he's the nicer version of the season 4's Bulstrode.
Yes. Well, yeah. Like, I remember Bulstrode was only in the episode Special Attraction, but no other episode besides that episode ever had him again.
Well, his face did appear on one particular troublesome truck in the season 10 episode The Green Controller. I think that's his surprise face reused on a troublesome truck in the episode The Green Controller in season 10.
Yeah.
Even though he did come back.
But in general, Special Attraction was actually Bulstrode's last appearance, where his face was on him and not. He's like, and I think his only one of his few lines is like, "Come on, why don't you cars where you should be?
There's no engine, and we can't. You're in the wrong place, not us."
Right.
But then, of course, he says this other line when Percy dumps all the freight cars of clay on him. And
I'm thinking.
Serves you right, giggled the R's. You were always barging in and moaning. By the way, Misty on rescue, that's all done. Next, we go on to Merry Winter Wish. First, Christmas. Even though they mention winter holidays, I'll just say this. First, Christmas episodic Thomas CGI episodic DVD. Which, yep, I know this does contain the episode itself, which I actually do like the episode itself. Kind of like I forgot to mention Toss Runaway Kite. I do like the episode. There are 3 episodes on the Toss Runaway Kite DVD where Thomas is the lead, but Toby's only got 1 to himself. And this one, it's kind of different. Thomas is the lead in 2 of them, and Henry's the lead in 1. And they make the Logging Locos make their only spotlight. Because the last episode, Merry Misty Island, but the first 2 have Thomas as the lead. But Merry Winter Wish, the episode itself, I kind of like, just like how I like the episode itself, Toss Runaway Kite, on the release itself. The other 2, Well, if I had to rank those 3 episodes from where Toss is the lead and the DVD Toss Runaway Kite, obviously the episode itself, Toss Runaway Kite, and then second would be Buzzy Bees, and then third would have to be The Biggest Present of All.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, Merry Winter Wish, this one at least has some good Perkins segments where he has to wrap some nice presents for the children. And luckily he got them wrapped in time, and he had to dress as Santa Claus. Kind of like different how Sir Topham Hatt likes to dress up as Santa Claus sometimes. I'm surprised the animators at Nitrogen were able to make a good Sir Topham Hatt a good Sir Topham Hatt dressed as Santa Claus. Just like they made if you noticed, if you watched the episode Toss the Missing Christmas Tree, they used that different Sir Topham Hatt figure model from season 1, where he's dressed as Santa Claus, but the different, compared to the season 2 figure of Sir Topham Hatt, looks different.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like, yeah, wait. I knew what I mean, but it's different.
I think there might have been some season 2 episodes where they might have used the season 1 model of Sir Topham Hatt on some of them.
That's the case, but even though they use some season 1 footage in season 2 sometimes. By the way, the line of Soda, this release,
like the season 1 style trucks.
The season. Trucks. But even though in season 2 they gave the Troublesome Trucks model white face masks. Anyway, the line of Soda. None of these episodes are terrible either. Like this one, the first 3, yes, they're about Thomas. This one I have to rank these 3 with these 3 Thomas is the lead. Toss the Pigs is my favorite, where Thomas thinks the piglets would like other things besides soft straw, but then Farmer Trotter told him, no, Thomas, piglets just need soft straw and they're about to be born very soon. And then he races as fast as he can to get everything fixed, and he has to get the straw. Yeah, I think I'm going to say just like how I like Toss Percy and the Squeak more than Toss the Babysitter, I like Toss the Pigs more than Thomas the Babysitter. Wobbly Wheels and Whistles. Yep, the Perkins segments are he's making a model railway. That's my favorite Perkins segment. This one, Mr. Perkins wants to go to the beach, but Henry arrives too late. But luckily, Mr. Perkins made a beach of his own in the engine driver's common room. And yes, we all know why does this say the blurb, will Thomas have to get his own wheels dirty? But he wasn't doing that when he was trying to get Scruff out of the hiding place. He was trying to help Scruff come out of the hiding place by showing him different things that would make him stop hiding. Yes, we all know Thomas and Scruff. The episode reminds me of I do have the SpongeBob episode Gary Takes a Bath on the second season DVD set. Well, the gift set of seasons 1 and 2 of SpongeBob. I do not have seasons 3 through 8 of gift sets just yet. Well, I'll get them eventually. The only reason I got that SpongeBob and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood set is just so I can own something of SpongeBob and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood in my home media collection. But I know you have this.
I think Anchor Bay put out some of those Mr. Rogers DVDs as well.
Yeah, I don't have those, but all I have is the Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood It's a Beautiful Day collection. Even though it would be cool if I had all those Mr. Rogers DVDs, even though I could just watch them on the collection DVDs anyway. But yeah. But I know you have the SpongeBob episode Gary Takes a Bath on DVD.
Yes. I think I also had it on VHS at one point called Absorbing Favorites.
Yeah, but I just have it in the season 2 set with a different version of Shanghai. Which I have to see which version of Shanghai I have on my SpongeBob, like the gift set of seasons 1 and 2. See if it's the different version of.
Actually, there's an extended version on the first 100 episodes DVD.
I don't have that. I'd rather have the gift sets of seasons 1. Even though I can get the first 100 episodes because that's the different version of Shanghai, but the Gary Takes a Bath episode is the same as compared to the Toss and Scruff episode. And of course, a lot of people say they hate Toby in the Whistling Woods because Toby needs to learn to stop being a stupid coward, a scaredy.
Yeah. I'm surprised that some of the SpongeBob episodes from season 5 lasted just as long as those Thomas episodes from the classic series. Like the Krusty Plate being one of them.
I know, but anyway, those Wobbly Wheels and Whistles done. Now on to Pop Goes Thomas, released back in. Well, we all know it released on the first day of March 2011 on DVD. Also the same. I'm surprised this and the SpongeBob SquarePants movie and the Thomas DVD Start Your Engines from Universal all released on the same day, March 1st. All these celebrate their different anniversaries. This DVD is already 13.
Sesame Street DVD released on the same day, but 5 years later, called The Mysterious Cookie Thief, March 1st, 2016.
Yeah, that released the same day as Thomas Start Your Engines. But anyway, yep, Pop Goes Thomas. This one also has Thomas as the lead in the first 3 episodes, but then the final one ends off with another Steam Team member. This one ends off the final episode with Emily, but she refuses to take the dirty laundry in Pingy Pongy Pickup, which some people say they hate that episode, Pingy Pongy Pickup, but come on. I like Pingy Pongy Pickup. But if I rank the Thomas episodes on this DVD, Pop Goes Thomas makes me laugh. Thomas in Charge. No, not Thomas in Charge. That's coming up later. Thomas's Crazy Day, where Thomas thinks he could do 2 different things at the same time, but he realized, no, he can't do that. He can't play his fun game with Percy while trying to do his important loading with cargo at the same time. But then a solution says they can have fun at doing the job. That, like I just did at my job at work, sometimes my working time at my job can be really fun. Well, working hard can be fun sometimes. That's the moral of this episode, Thomas's Crazy Day on this release. But Jitters and Japes. Oh yeah, we got to go to Birthday Express.
That's one of the only 2 CGI DVDs I have. Now, it's got Percy's Parcel and Double Trouble. These are the only season 13 episodes on this DVD. And then the other 2 are from season 12. And they are awful Man in the Hills and Party Surprise.
But I would have looked to just put Duncan in the Hot Air Balloon on this DVD, because that makes sense, because there's different episodes with the Percival family. It's the Percival twins' birthday and Duncan in the Hot Air Balloon. But even though it makes sense to put the Man in the Hills on here because it's Mr. Percival's birthday, it makes sense, but I still skip it because I hate the Man in the Hills.
Or, you know what? Maybe they could mix it up. Maybe put Percy's Parcel, maybe take out one of the episodes, like, and maybe put Thomas and the Birthday Picnic from season 9 as a bonus episode on here.
That would be a cool idea. We could have seen Thomas the Birthday Picnic on so many releases. Like, it was just on we got it reused on Greatest Stories, Thomas the Birthday Picnic. We could have seen, but unfortunately Mattel says they don't like to mix the model and CGI eras on US Thomas DVDs, even because unfortunately we never got a series compilation release on DVD of Thomas in the USA where they could use like actual model episodes, like actual model, like completely model animation episodes with full CGI episodes. Because unfortunately Mattel doesn't like to do that. Stupid Mattel. But anyway. But it would have been cool if they put Thomas the Birthday Picnic as a bonus episode on this DVD. We could have seen, but even though season 12 has hybrid CGI animation on the model sets anyway.
This could have been like the only one to have like 5 episodes on here. Maybe put Thomas the Birthday Picnic from season 9 as the last episode. Start off with CGI and then transition to model.
But no, Mattel doesn't like to put Hit Entertainment. Well, this was back when Hit Entertainment was bought up by Mattel. This was Hit Entertainment's last year of owning Thomas before Hit Entertainment was bought out by Mattel in 2012. But anyway, the Birthday Express, that's all.
The logo wouldn't be shown on Thomas until later.
Yeah, 2017 is when they showed the Mattel Creations logo. But anyway, that's done with the Birthday Express. Now we go into Thomas in Charge. This one is a mix of seasons 13 and 14. But at least they put the Mr. Perkins bubble on the back of this one, unlike the previous two, they didn't. Because I guess there wasn't enough room. But I think the UK releases of Birthday Express and Pop Goes Thomas, they showed the Mr. Perkins bubble on the back. But if not, because I don't know, because I don't have any UK Thomas DVDs, because I don't think any of us can get UK Thomas DVDs, because our players wouldn't be able to read them at all.
Yeah, it can't really play anything in other regions other than Region 1.
Even though I could get a region-free player, so I can play if I wanted to play the UK DVDs of Thomas, I could try. Anyway, I don't know about Japanese Thomas DVDs. I don't have anything Japan Thomas DVDs at all.
Yeah, that was Thomas in Charge.
Yep, Thomas in Charge, which does... It says that Gordon's catchphrase is an episode, "Oh, the indignity." It's the first full CGI episode where Gordon gets in very big trouble with Sir Topham Hatt.
Like, no, Gordon. Oh, the silliness.
Great impression, because I know you've seen that episode before, Gordon's catchphrase episode, "Oh, the indignity." But unfortunately, we never got him saying the quote, "Bust my buffers," until the episode on Wildwater Rescue, the episode "Bust my buffers" from season 16. But anyway, he appears Day of the Diesels. Where now Percy's the main character of the movie instead of Thomas. Yep, and I know that it's different to how, like, Mr. Conductor never scolded Diesel 10 in Thomas Magic Railroad, but Sir Topham Hatt did in this movie. It's a very different consistency story. Anyway, Day of the Diesels. I'm surprised this aired on...
I think the next one is Merry Christmas, Thomas.
Yep, Merry Christmas, Thomas, which I also have.
And...
Yep. No,
this
seriously,
is the only DVD that I have that contains all CGI Thomas episodes on here.
That's the only one you have with all full CGI Thomas episodes, because you have one season.
I'm mostly... Because I prefer the classic series.
Luckily, we're going to see a model series compilation DVD coming up in a sec, which does have... that one is fully modeled, just like the Greatest Stories was, but anyway.
Oh, are you talking about Engine Friends?
Yeah, you should get that, Flick. It's an amazing DVD. Well, I'll show you why when we get to it. We're getting close to it, but anyway. Merry Christmas, Thomas. This is the first one to feature, oh man, everyone's least favorite full CGI season, number 15.
Yeah.
Which I know a lot of people say that's a terrible season of the. Well, I'm talking about the seasons of the full CGI because people say season 12 is still the model series. They say this is their absolute least favorite full CGI season, number 15. Because I think all the episodes are so boring and so stupidly repetitive over and over and over again. And Sharon Miller wrote almost every episode of this season. Well, with an exception of an episode we'll see on a different DVD, which we'll get to about 2 or 3 releases in a minute. But anyway, Merry Christmas, Thomas. If I had to pick a favorite, I would have to say just Let It Snow and Percy the Snowman. Surprise, surprise, and Tree Trouble I have freaking problems with. Particularly the scene in Surprise, surprise when Victor tells Thomas and Charlie to shoot, but they're not freaking bugs. Kind of goes back to the season 5 episode Cranky Bugs. But
what about Tree Trouble, on the other hand?
Tree Trouble, that one is a similar thing. Why does Thomas say to Dowager Hat he crushed both of the trees, but Diesel had his own tree?
That doesn't make any sense.
That blame the workman or the writer of... But I'm not going to beat up that Sharon Miller. She's a nice lady. Anyway, yep. Merry Christmas, Thomas. But at least the Perkins segments do kind of make up this release. I gotta say yes, because Perkins is stuck in the common room because it's way too cold and snowy outside. Yep, that's the disc for Merry Christmas, Thomas. Both our discs are the same, so I don't need to slide mine out.
All right.
Now on to Rescue on the Rails, the last release of 2011. This one's another one with all season 15 episodes, but my favorite. All these ones are really great. The other 3 are great, but Fiery Flynn I hate the most. Because Flynn is being such an idiot in the episode because he doesn't listen to see which one's the right engine to say whose firebox is on fire. But that doesn't make sense. Well, how can an engine's firebox catch fire?
It can't.
Because coal is what makes its fire burn to make steam. It boils the water to make steam. Maybe if they were just to say a different place was on fire, that would have made it cooler.
Or if everyone was upset with Flynn for making a mistake and getting called out for doing the wrong thing.
Particularly Sir Topham Hatt yelling at the level 5 tolerance but he needs to watch his frickin' tolerance, Sir Topham Hatt. He doesn't need to yell over getting wet over water. Wetting his trousers. Water is not a thing to yell at, Sir Topham Hatt. Sir Topham Hatt needs to learn to stop yelling over stupid little incidents. Like getting his whole hat and blazer and trousers wet. That water, you need to stop complaining over water getting you wet, Sir Topham Hatt.
Oh, there's a similar instance way back in season 1, James Learns a Lesson, where Sir Topham Hatt scolds James for getting his new hat.
Yeah, because his let-off steam caused a shower of water. But how could the steam make a shower of water get all over Sir Topham's new top hat? At least, he tells him off kind of seriously when telling him off for wetting his new top hat. Basically says, if you can't behave, I shall take away your red coat and have you painted blue.
Yeah.
But at least I think that one, tears were not coming out of James's eyes in James Learns a Lesson, a.k.a. James and the Coaches in the UK.
But in Foolish Freight Cars, they were.
Yeah, because even though George Carlin doesn't try to do a sobbing James impression because he's scared he'll never be let out again, but Ringo Starr doesn't.
On the other hand, does.
Yeah, hey, wait, Rescue on the Rails. At least, despite the stupid Fiery Flynn giving me issues, but the other three I kind of like. Edward the Hero, some people say they think that's their all-time favorite Edward episode of the CGI series because Edward didn't have to be strong, fast, and stern like Gordon. Being kind, funny, gentle is the similar thing. It was still helping these people out when he helped Katie, Miss Pharma McCall's dog, and helping Dowager Hat get her suitcase when she sent it to the wrong place by accident. And when Charlie was feeling upset because he forgot all his jokes, but Edward tells him a new joke to help him feel better so he remembers all his jokes from the past. So I think Edward the Hero and James to the Rescue are my favorites on this DVD. But at least in like Stop That Bus or Topham Hatt does tell Thomas off because he told Thomas his mother was waiting so long for Bertie, and he was cross with him, but at least he didn't yell at him. Because when I watched Stop That Bus on YouTube, on TV, Flicka, I was scared to Tommy. I was going to yell at Toss, but luckily he didn't. He was cross, but he was upset with him. But after a few instances, he calls out with a kind of sighing, embarrassed face. He doesn't like his mother waiting. He loves his mother so much, Sir Topham Hatt. Anyway, Rescue on the Rails is done. Next on to Curious Cargo. I know, still don't have this, even though I know you've seen a lot of these with the Perkins segments, Flicka, like, particularly this one where Mr. Perkins has to clean up the engine driver's common room to get ready for the inspection, but unfortunately the inspection got canceled. Some of these episodes are decent, but some people say Percy's New Friends is not the best Percy episode, but in my personal opinion, I think it's cute, Percy's New Friends. I don't know why people say they hate that, because even though you shouldn't do this in real life, be friends with a wild animal, but it's cute in this cute little kids train show, TV show for kids. But in real life, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Curious Cargo. Because I love Percy's New Friends. It's such a... And Percy lets his new animal friend sleep with him at Timoth's sheds, but he tells everyone else to be quiet. But just imagine if there was a deleted scene and someone blew their whistle in the middle of the night and it woke them all up and the animals ran away from Percy, but luckily the ending was so peaceful and quiet. Yep, Curious Cargo is done. Now on to all this. This one's least people's favorite train wreck of Thomas, Up, Up, and Away. Which some people say they hate the episode itself, Up, Up, and Away. They complain, guess this, a giant balloon tied up on a flatbed. And yet, this is the only season 15 episode I know of instance where Sir Topham Hatt yells at level 5 tolerance at Thomas, but the other ones he's just cross at him, but upset. But this is the only instance. But come on, Sir Topham Hatt, you don't have to yell at level 5 tolerance of a big balloon knocking your hat off your head. God, Sir Topham Hatt is more terrible in this episode than Fiery Flynn episode. Because of him getting so dramatic and angry over a balloon, knocking his hat off as well as his wife and mother's hats. But it was funny to see all the members of the Hat family without the hats on. None of the other Hat members lost their hats before. Well, even though in some classic series episodes, Lady Hat doesn't even wear her hat. You know, in like earlier classic series episodes, Flicka, Lady Hat never wears her hat. Never had a hat. Back in I don't even know the first episode we saw Sir Topham Hatt's wife, Lady Hat.
And I think there's one episode of the Model series where Sir Topham Hatt was upset over his hat going off as well. Like, I must have my hat.
Oh yeah, Emily's winter are saying like I must have my hat.
Yeah.
Are you talking about like it's from the model series?
Yes.
Oh yeah, the topped off Thomas one where Thomas whooshed through Kelstorp. At least, but you don't. I know that was because Sir Tom had said, "Thomas, why were you going much fast?" said Sir Tom Hat. You know, engines are supposed to go slowly through stations. Thomas felt terrible. I'm sorry, sir, he peeped. But at least like that one, Sir Tom Hat wasn't that really harsh, like yelling so much. Like Thomas blowing. Sir Tom Hat said,
"My hat has been blown off. I must have my hat."
Thomas felt even worse. Which unfortunately we never got the sister episode, Topped Off Thomas, the one to Edward Strikes Out. We never got Topped Off Thomas on DVD in America. We only got the episode that's the sister one to it, Edward Strikes Out twice. Because speaking of that, Engine Friends is next, coming up soon.
As some people say, it's one of the worst instances of Edward because he is out of character and just rude.
Anyway, yep, up and away. But at least the other episodes, they have funny things that make me laugh. Like, particularly the episode Wonky Whistle, where that one's not written by Sharon Miller. Neil Ben wrote Wonky Whistle, where Thomas's Wonky Whistle makes funny noises every time he keeps puffing along. It makes me laugh every time it makes these silly noises.
Yeah,
or even
it kind of reminds me of a learning segment, which whistle suits Thomas.
Oh yeah, the season 8 one where Thomas's whistle was broken. It makes a different kind of sound. Like, you know, that learning segment of Thomas where you have to get his whistle replaced. Thomas has that sad Thomas face they use in that CGI learning segment of Thomas. That sad face Thomas was also used like when see if you can tell whether Thomas is happy or sad. I like that learning segment of CGI Thomas where you can often tell where Thomas is happy or sad. I love that learning segment. But anyway, up and away. Ugh, I don't know. Should I recommend this or not? I would say yes if you want to see the parts that make you laugh, but just skip the episode itself up and away. The other episodes have parts that'll make you laugh. I say give this a try, Flicka, and tell me if you think the parts in the other 3 episodes make you laugh. The Wonky Whistle thing may keep me laugh, and the thing in Kevin the Steamy, Kevin being all silly, and in particularly Emily chuffing up her cheeks and Emily and Dash. Well, if you find up and away, eventually, Flicka, tell me if these parts make you laugh in these other 3 episodes. Okay, now here we go to the Holy Grail Savior, Engine Friends, which goes back up the rails. You have the last all-model series compilation DVD by Lionsgate in the United States.
Maybe they could have made Edward Strikes Out better if James was the one that was rude and not Edward.
We had to rename it to James Strikes Out.
Yeah. Like, you fangled nonsense.
Or James would say he will only get in the way, echoed James. And Gordon said newfangled nonsense. And Percy would still say, what's a new funnel nuisance, James? Pete Percy.
Yeah.
Or it's this newfangled nonsense, Percy, as proudly as he would say it. It's something that is new and not really useful.
And
and also this has the Ringo Starr narrations of Safe from Scrap and A New Friend for Thomas on this DVD.
I know also I do know there are some VHS releases that have season 2 episodes with Ringo's narration, like Thomas Breaks the Rules containing the Ringo version of Old Iron, Duck Takes Charge, etc. I don't think Save from Scrap ever got a Ringo release until this.
Nope. Nope. Not in
Carlin dub on 2 previous releases, but never a Ringo one until this one.
Well, yes, Save from Scrap, George Carlin dub. We got that in Daisy Other Stories and Thomas's Friends Help Out, and A New Friend for Thomas. We got that in Daisy and Other Stories, Thomas's Christmas Party, and Best of Thomas. So I guess a new friend for Thomas got the George Carlin on physical media
Or
more.
you know what? Maybe if they had Best of Percy used a Ringo version of Percy Takes the Plunge, and that Daisy DVD already had the George Carlin version of New Friend for Thomas. Maybe they could put the Ringo version of New Friend for Thomas on Best of Thomas.
But no, they used the Carlin dub in Best of Thomas on New Friend for Thomas and Best of Thomas.
Or, you know what? Maybe they could evenly balance them for Best of Thomas. Maybe have George Carlin do the season 3 episode only, while Ringo Starr does the first 2 seasons, to make it like it's the first Thomas DVD release, because Thomas Gets Tricked was the first VHS.
That could be a cool thing. Maybe we could have seen a New Friend for Thomas narrated by Ringo Starr on VHS before this DVD, which came out 11 years after Best of Thomas did. Anyway, and of course, we also got the... And of course, this does have the episodes of Season 9 where Michael Brandon does say the episode's titles out loud as it starts, which are Toss the Rainbow, Toss the Statue. But the error in Toss the Statue, it has the opening of Toss the New Engine, but Thomas and the Statue is said aloud.
But there's this one part, he's like, Thomas, stop talking about the statue!
Well, first he goes, please stop talking about the statue! Thomas gasped.
No one wants to play with you anymore. No one even wants to talk to you anymore. And neither do I.
And then, yeah, Robert Hartstrom does do a silly inconsistent music, like when they make this kind of music, when they make this awful, dreadful music. It's not as bad as compared to like the classic series in a way. But I don't blame Robert Hartstrom for that tone of music anyway. But of course, Edward was also out of character in Toss the New Engine when he literally said to Percy, "That new Steamy Neville is best friends with the Diesels. He doesn't want to be with Steamies at all."
Well, he was also out of character in Harvey to the Rescue way back in season 6. He doesn't even look like an engine.
Yes, of course, and then Gordon says, "Surely Sir Topham Hatt won't let him pull coaches," sniffed Gordon. Anyway.
Yeah.
And
he's
I know.
On wheels,
said James.
He's not taking my mail,
said Percy. Anyway. And another thing about Engine Friends, at least they put the Trouble in the Shed American Ringo Starr dub. At least these ones have Ringo Starr doing US dub of all the episodes of seasons 1 and 2 on this DVD. Unlike on Greatest Stories, he did the very first 2 episodes of season 1. Thomas Gets Tricked and Edward helps out, but it shows the US title, but he does the UK narration for some reason. This one even steps above the Greatest Stories in my personal opinion, despite some of the episodes on Greatest Stories are my favorite. But if I had to choose ones that they did for a good job on this DVD, I would have to say, to pick the best ones, well, because they just step above them.
You know what also would have been cool? If there was one more compilation DVD that came after this one and had episodes only from seasons 1 through 6.
That would take
the only Lionsgate release that's not reprinted to contain episodes only from the classic series, and with the old classic series intro and name board sequences coming back.
That would be cool. But anyway, Engine Friends, say goodbye to the fully model Thomas episodic DVDs, because the rest of these from now on by Lionsgate are going to be CGI.
All right. Yeah.
And
that was Engine Friends.
Yep. Now on to Schoolhouse Delivery. These Perkins segments on here, where Perkins, wants to make the engine driver's common room as colorful as possible, but he keeps accidentally knocking over 3 canvases. Well, yeah, the easel is where you paint the picture, is where you hold the picture, but the canvas is what you paint the picture on. and he messes up his canvas 3 times, but then he realized he's now not upset because he realizes maybe he could do something with the 3 splattered canvases he made so far anyway. He decided to turn all 3 of them into a big, colorful picture of James.
Yeah.
Yep. And yeah, I know this episodic DVD teaches kids that these episodes will teach them lessons to get them through their school days really well. Well, and also for the engines on Sodor, like I said, just to help them teach their lessons on Sodor to keep them really useful.
Yeah.
And yep, Schoolhouse Delivery, that's all done. Now on to Blue Mountain Mystery, the movie, which I know this was Sharon Miller's last special that she ever wrote. But at least they did show some CGI recreation flashbacks of some of these characters in the past accidents that they did, the worst things they ever did in the past. Yes, particularly the Scar for Percy, Come Out Henry, and Down the Mine flashbacks. Well, I gotta say Thomas's flashback in Down the Mine wasn't too bad. The only thing they had to do was take his driver out of the cab. Even though they can't animate his driver being knocked out of the cab, getting jerked off Thomas's footplate in CGI recreation of Down the Mine, they can't do such a thing like that. But the Come Out Henry and a Scar for Percy ones, they really needed to fix those. Like, Come Out Henry's in the middle because like Henry's tunnel is still located in the same place. But Henry's supposed to be in the old shape model, not the new one. But I guess animators at Nitrogen and the animators at the Renaissance Studios could make an old shape Henry in CGI.
Maybe because they didn't know how it was supposed to look.
Well, even though they should have looked at some photos of the old shape Henry from season 1.
Right.
And Percy's flashback for Scar for Percy, they needed to fix it a lot. Because come on, they need to the accident occurred at the Knapford Bay or something like that, and Percy comes underneath this roof of a building in a Scar for Percy at the harbor or somewhere, or the shunting yards. And he doesn't have the lamp on his lamp iron in the original model version. But in the CGI one, he still has his lamp.
That's a mistake that they didn't catch in time.
Nope, they didn't take the lamp off of Percy, and the station they did it on accident is Wellsworth. I thought it was Mayfleet or Wellsworth. It looks like Wellsworth, but that's not where the accident occurred. Wellsworth didn't even appear in a Scar for Percy at all. I think the first time we saw Wellsworth Station in the season 3 of the classic series was probably Gordon the famous. No, Time for Trouble did it, yeah. Because in the opening of Time for Trouble, we see Gordon passing through Wellsworth Station, telling "come on" to the coaches. He calls out to the coaches, "come on."
Yeah.
That's the first time we get to see Wellsworth Station in season 3 of the classic series is Time for Trouble. And of course, Diesel's flashback. James says this wrong for Mission Rescue's Diesel's thing. He says Diesel pushed the logs off the bridge. No, James, you said that wrong. Diesel was trying to stop. He tried to stop the flatbeds from pulling him towards the edge of the bridge, and he wasn't trying to push them. They were pulling him instead. I think James and Sir Todd Matt was proud. Sir Todd Matt was proud Thomas saved Diesel, but he was so upset that the Joby Wood was lost. And of course, the one I hate the most of all, the narrow gauge engines running away from Thomas. Oh my goodness, I hate that part. Next up to A Very Thomas Christmas. Yep, this one where Perkins needs to get some sleep to get ready for a job in the morning. But at least this one has season 16 episodes. Some people say season 16 is much better than the first 3 CGI Miller era seasons. Because you know how like they show flashbacks from past things, just like they do in the classic series.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a very Thomas Christmas all taken care of. Next up, Sticky Situations, the last DVD of 2012, like we all know. Where these ones, they have to help the engines out of... They're all in sticky situations, as the DVD implies. They're in sticky situations. Particularly the way the fog is set in Season 15, Spencer the Grand. Man, the fog in CGI is very more detailed than than they did in the classic series. Well, okay, maybe it was... They did it like I said, the Hitmall era did the fog details sometimes. I don't think they ever did a Season 12 episode in the fog.
They did one in Season 6 called The Fog Man, and I think there was also fog being shown in Percy's Ghostly Trick way back in Season 2.
Yeah, because they used a really cool smoke machine to make the whole island look like it's all covered in fog. But the way they animated this fog in Spencer the Grand is really cool. And of course, they have Butch's episode. We finally get to see Butch talk, even though a lot of people hated this episode, Stuck on You, where even though it was cool to see Butch finally speak, even though Butch made a comeback in Mission Rescue first, but he didn't speak till this episode, and he's been sitting in background cameos in the whole model series without saying anything. But like after the episode Horrid Laurie, the rest of Season 5 and up to about Season 12, he appeared with a face, but he didn't speak. Or no, I don't think Butch ever appeared in Season 12 as a cameo. He did appear as a cameo in The Great Discovery, Butch, but he didn't speak till this episode. Well, yes, he made a cameo at the end of Mission Rescue, but he didn't speak till this episode, Stuck on You. Next up, Money Matters, the first Thomas DVD of 2013. Yep, Money Matters. This one has a great Perkins segment where he needs to get ready for a rummage sale in the engine driver's common room. But I would have loved if Lionsgate swapped the positions. The Money Matters episode, James is the main character, not Thomas. What if they just put James right here with his happy face and Thomas is all surprised?
Yeah.
There we go. Sorry, there's a spot on my cover art. Sorry about that, Flicka. But anyway, there we go. That's better. Now I can show you this more easier. Yeah, this case is really cheap. I hate these eco box. Like I said, I hate eco boxes on these Thomas TVs. Well, even though this got re-released by Universal, I forgot to mention this Sticky Situations, A Very Thomas Christmas. Pretty much all of these got Universal re-releases. All these did.
Yeah.
Even Wobbly Wheels and Whistles did. The Line of Sodor did. Even if I got their Universal re-releases, I could just replace them as better quality cases. These ones, you just got to be careful with these eco boxes. Like particularly this inside, it's not as bad as the eco-friendly logo, the recyclable logo. It's got like different holes everywhere. Anyway, Money Matters, that's all taken care of, and the Perkins segments do make up this. Well, it doesn't matter because some of the episodes are redeemably good. Anyway, yep, to Go Thomas we go. Or as they say, next up we have Go Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mean to say the word go, because the release is called Go Thomas.
All right.
Oh, yep. I was just saying, like, we're almost done.
Yeah. 2014 is the last year for Lionsgate to...
Yeah, for Thomas DVDs at least. They only did a certain amount because the next ones in 2014 were by Universal.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a possible way, like I did in your birthday last year, Flick. I showed all my Thomas and Dragon Tales releases. Would it be cool if we both of us did that? We show both Thomas and Dragon Tales. Well, that'll come eventually. You know, I just did that. Like I said, I did this in your birthday last year, Flick. I did a. Oh, God bless you.
Yeah.
Yep, Go Thomas. This is a must-have. I think this one has improvement of episodes from the previous season, in my personal opinion. Well, episodes that improved upon their episodes from the previous season, technically. Particularly Race to the Rescue, where Flynn is too scared to travel on the roads to go help out a fire. But even though it's cool, Flynn can use both railway tracks and roads. And like Thomas struggles with the Express in the episode Express coming through. But these Perkins segments are probably the best ones I've ever seen, where he's teaching this man called Archie Higginbottom how to be a really useful engine driver. And luckily, that actor who played Archie is still alive. The actor who played Archie is still alive. That actor, yeah.
I think our next release after this is Railway Mischief.
Yep, Railway Mischief comes next. I sorted them how they go. Railway Mischief is next. Go Thomas was the last TV to have Michael Brandon as the narrator. But until it goes back to him on Animals Aboard, this one has this narrator, Mark Morgan, which I don't know if you've seen a single episode of CGI Thomas with Mark Morgan as the narrator, Flicka. I think he's better than Michael Brandon, Mark Morgan.
Yeah, I think he's the first narrator ever since Ringo Starr to narrate for both dubs.
Yeah, this is an instance, but they just changed the voices in the dubs. But particularly, like, in a particular episode we'll see, I think this is where they merged the UK and US dialogue all in UK and US voices all in one particular episode. On a release we'll see it later on in the 2013 releases, but anyway. Well, that's being the episode The Switch, where Luke and Millie are switching places for the day, that's on the Thomas Way DVD, which we'll see later. This one has different episodes. This one, like I said, some people say that season 17 it was an okay. The animation wasn't so good in season 17, but it has better writing. But I can understand season 17 looks okay. I can understand some people say that season 17 is okay, but at least the writing's better than 16 any day. And I'm surprised this and the next one, Animals Aboard, got a Universal release. Yeah, this one doesn't have a slipcover, Flicka, so I'll show the disc for Railway Mischief. That's Railway Mischief. This is like if you got the reissue from any other retailer besides Walmart back in 2014, it comes just like this, but they took away the slipcover. But I really want the slipcover for this release so bad.
All right.
Next is Animals Aboard, which I know a lot of people say this is a garbage release. But I should have brought this up in my HMR. I forgot to, like I said, I should have said this in my HMR. If one of these animals is your favorite, pick up this release. But if any of these animals aren't your favorite, don't pick this release up. And like I brought up in my HMR, I did in a normal video, Flicka, how they said some people say watching Railway Mischief is like eating, like me watching this release after Railway Mischief is like thinking like I want to have McDonald's after what I had for dinner the previous day, but I don't see myself doing that. I eat McDonald's whenever I feel like it. I'm not like this stupid guy who in the stupid Super Size Me video, which is not a good video, Flicka. Don't buy it. Well, luckily, don't buy it. The Super Size Me documentary video, don't buy it because it's so gross.
Yeah.
Don't watch that. Particularly the one scene where he puked everywhere. Well,
Yeah.
Don't get it. I think for better ones, just for a Size Me video, watch Portion Size Me. I think that's better.
All right, we only have 3 more Lionsgate releases of Thomas left to cover.
Well, 5 rather, because I'm at King of. No, I've got 5 more to go. Because King of the Railways right now.
Unless you count 2 other like TV movies, King of the Railway being one of them.
Well, Tale of the Braves by Universal. This one's the only Renaissance movie by Lionsgate to be released on media. King of the Railway. I wish I had this with the slipcover. I should have gotten this with the slipcover back in the day. Because, like I said, these Blu-ray and DVD combo packs, Flicka, if you actually buy these come with DVDs, so no need to worry about that. That's why I saw the copy at FYE when it had a slipcover. I should have gotten it. That's when I didn't have a Blu-ray player back then. Used the DVD. And I loved how in this movie they didn't bring up that Henry doesn't need special coal anymore. They brought up that he didn't need special coal anymore. I was like, seriously, Renaissance people, people at the Brenner era company, you really fixed that problem and realized we don't need to be doing this anymore. All right, next up to Santa's Little Engine, which I'm surprised they actually got to finally have Diesel 10 being in a TV series episode, flick at the Missing Christmas Decorations, where they finally got to have Diesel 10 being in a TV series episode rather than just being in movies.
Yeah.
Because like all the other past ones, he's just being in. While he was the villain in Toss Magic Railroad, he was a supporting role in Calling All Engines, and then he made a cameo in The Great Discovery, and then of course he was the villain again in Day of the Diesels. While he made a surprise return at the end of Misty on Rescue, and then he appeared as the villain again in Day of the Diesels, and now he finally appears in it in just a normal episode. And watching Diesel 10 stealing everyone's decorations from Tidmouth Sheds is kind of like a version of, well, you've seen How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Well, any version of you're saying like you have the original cartoon How the Grinch Stole Christmas, not the you have the Jim Carrey one, right?
I have both.
Both and live action.
Yeah.
I like both. I need to watch the new 3D animated Grinch, the one that's simply called The Grinch. I need to watch that.
I've seen that in theaters.
I need to watch that so bad. Maybe when Christmas comes this December, maybe I'll give it a try. Who knows? At least I know to buy it on just plain Blu-ray because I want them all lined up next to each other. The Boris Karloff cartoon 60s version and the Jim Carrey live action version.
We'll show that one in the next couple of weeks when we show up the Warner Brothers collection, because I have a Warner Brothers DVD of that.
Yeah, the original Boris Karloff version. We showed the Jim Carrey live action one in the Universal one. But yeah, Santa's Little Engine, that's all done. And of course, like one Nitrogen Era episode with Mark Morgan's narration was the Snow Tracks episode. Because here, see, they put the episode Snow Tracks reused on here, but they has had Mark Morgan re-narrate it. This is one particular full CGI episode where 3 different narrators re-narrated the same episode, 3 different narrators. That's crazy to believe. Just like how I think particularly these 6 episodes of season 6, all 3 of these narrators narrated this episode. Particularly No Sleep for Cranky, Batty for Harold, James the Red Balloon, Gordon Takes a Tumble, Toby Howell Lamb, and Edward the Really Splengen, with Alec Baldwin, Michael Brandon, and Michael Angelus's narration.
But for Snow Tracks, it's Michael Brandon, Michael Angelus, Mark Morgan.
Yes, but this Mark Morgan version It's only available on this DVD. You can't. It's not. They didn't broadcast this version on TV. It was only on this DVD.
Yeah, I can imagine if Alec Baldwin re-narrated at least one season 4 episode. Let's say if he were to re-narrate the episode, Rusty helps Peter Sam for Trackside Tunes, maybe they could have Alec Baldwin re-narrate that episode to make it look like a newer version instead of reusing the George Carlin dub. They could have Alec Baldwin redub the episode Rusty helps Peter Sam just for that release.
Yeah, I don't even know how to do if Alec Baldwin was to re-narrate Rusty helps.
No one seems to understand our feelings.
Sympathized Gordon.
Now, if you were ill, you couldn't shun cars, could you?
Good idea, replied Sir Handel. I'll try it. Then we can do it Alec Baldwin with Sir Handel's impression, instead of it making me George Carlin, Michael Brandon, or Michael Angelis.
If Sir Topham Hatt had a line in that, I'd be like, you never do. You can start making now, while you do Peter Sam's work as well as your own. That'll teach you to pretend you were ill.
Sir Handel did start thinking about Gordon. When the wreckage was cleared away, Rusty set off along the line.
Yeah. Why didn't I think of that before? That could have been the only season 4 episode to have 3 narrators. George Carlin, Alec Baldwin, and Michael Angelis.
By the way, Santa's Little Engine, that's all done. And now on to The Thomas Way, which, yes, of course, does have the episode The Switch on it I was telling you about on Railway Mischief. Where, yes, this one where Luke and Millie literally switch their job duties in different places just for one particular day. I think this is the one instance in time the voices are the same in both UK and US dub. Well, you wouldn't know because you don't have this DVD flicker, but I have to watch the UK equivalent of the Switch because I'm pretty sure it plays the same way as the US version. Because my friend, I think she told me, I think the episode, there's one episode instance of Mark Morgan's dub of the episode where it's UK and US combined in one, where everything is the same. Everything is still particularly the same. The episode The Switch is one exception.
Yeah.
And of course, of course, it has the episode Percy's Lucky Day, which is my favorite, of Percy being the lead in season 17. And of course, The Thomas Way, the episode itself. So this one, I have 2 favorite episodes on this DVD. And of course, the episode Luke's New Friend, which unfortunately does not play on this DVD after the main feature is done. You have to go to the bonus features to watch it. We have the Thomas Way, the last DVD of 2013, and the last DVD where we have to live with full screen on Thomas episodes on DVD. But the next 2 by Lionsgate, they go widescreen. Starting with Spills and Thrills.
Only 2 from 2014 that Lionsgate put out.
And the 2 ones by Lionsgate of episodic DVDs to be filmed in widescreen. Yep, Spills and Thrills. I know this one does have the quote. The episode's called No More Mr. Nice Engine, where Hero does say that tells Diesel no more Mr. Nice Engine.
No more Mr. Nice Engine.
He says, I'm master of the railway. And then, of course, this particular... there's always... I know that you know the quote from SpongeBob episode Rock Bottom from season 1 of SpongeBob, where SpongeBob said, that's it, no more Mr. Nice Guy.
That's it, no more Mr. Nice Guy. What about I think there's a character that says no more Mr. Nice Guy in The Rescuers Down Under.
Oh yeah, I think that's said from the villain Mr. Percival McLeach.
Yeah. And I completely forgot there's this one scene there's even a Sesame Street episode that says something similar like, well, no more Mr. Nice Snuffle. I won't share my Snuffle Ball. I won't. I won't.
Is that set from Snuffy, in particular Sesame Street episode?
Yeah, it's the one where Alice throws temper tantrums.
And like Snuffy
throws one himself after realizing that Snuffy has never got a turn.
And what about? Oh man, I know you and I think the Berenstain Bears in the Messy Room 1985 episode is okay in our opinions, Flicka, but Jake Martin hates it. He knows the quote from Mama Bear saying, "No more Mrs. Nice Guy" from Berenstain Bears in the Messy Room.
Nice Guy.
Or I thought it was "No more Mrs. Nice Guy."
It's "No more Miss Nice Guy."
Okay. But anyway, the spills and thrills, and I know that. And I'm surprised they named the episode where Harvey's the spotlight ever since season 6 of the classic series. They named it after the sing-along song "Gone Fishing" from season 4 of the classic era, "Gone Fishing." But with this episode, Harvey has to take some goods to the other side of the island, but he actually has trouble going down the hill, and then he accidentally derails his loads, but then he realizes he can still pick them up despite he was pulling loads. He can still pick them up because he was a crane. But anyway,
Spills and Frills, last Lionsgate release, Trouble on the Tracks.
Not to be confused with the PC game, which I don't have the Trouble on the Tracks PC game. I remember having it as a kid, but the disc was in terrible condition. I'm probably going to get it back one of these days, the Trouble on the Tracks PC game, to see if it'll work. Because luckily I can buy computer games still. Anyway, Trouble on the Tracks. And this is the first Thomas CGI episode released to not feature any games. Well, even though before that, some Thomas Anchor Bay DVDs didn't have fun in games anyway.
Mainly the early ones.
Yeah, like the early ones. Like I think the earliest one to not feature a game on a bonus feature was the 2002 DVD of Make Someone Happy. Yeah, because like I said in VHS order, like when they put these all at the same time on DVD, but Best of James released on VHS and DVD, but Make Someone Happy got on its first DVD release.
Yeah, Thomas and His Friends Help Out, on the other hand, has the least amount of bonus features. It has the same thing, but no sing-along songs either.
But if they were to put a song on Thomas and His Friends Help Out, maybe put That's What Friends Are For, or Rules and Regulations, or maybe. What
about the song, maybe they could put Never, Never, Never Give Up or something?
But they finally put Never, Never, Never Give Up music video onto Greatest Stories, finally. So I don't think they needed to do that. But anyway, I think the best song because, it's about the release is all about helping Thomas's friends help out. Maybe the song, maybe That's What Friends Are For, because we could have seen it on DVD other than just listening to it on audio cassette and CD for That's What Friends Are For. At least they put the song Rules and Regulations on CD. If you have this, you don't have Thomas's Train Yard Tracks on CD.
Rules. Yeah. And then maybe for Thomas and His Friends Get Along, Rules and Regulations.
Well, they put Thomas's Anthem on Friends Get Along on DVD, so that's a plus.
They also put it on James Learns a Lesson, 10 Years of Thomas, and Percy's Ghostly Trick.
But on 10 Years of Thomas, it's grand finale version of
it can also be accessed as a bonus feature when you play all the games on the New Friends for Thomas.
And as a bonus feature on Greatest Stories. And also Trouble in the Tracks. I know a lot of people say they like the best episode they kind of like is Disappearing Diesels. Because Paxton's scared everyone. All the Diesels he thinks all the Diesels had disappeared, but Diesel told them all along we were just hiding they were just hiding from him. And another thing I want to bring up with Trouble in the Tracks so I think around these Thomas DVDs, all the season 5 episodic releases, Make Someone Happy, Cranky Bugs, Races, Rescues, and Runaways, and Spills and Chills don't have games, but Best of Thomas, James, and Percy have games. And Thomas's Christmas Wonderland also has games. Well, particularly one game. They only have one game in Christmas Wonderland. So I think the latest Thomas DVD to not have a single fun game was Friends Help Out DVD from 2003.
Yeah.
Other than that, Thomas DVDs onwards, they do have games.
Yeah.
Well, leading up to what is it? I think leading up to
Milk
all the way
model.
with the lazy menu. And then, of course, they stepped it up with Trusty Friends by Way Up, Trouble on the Tracks, the very last Thomas EV by Lionsgate. Plus, it's the only season 18 episodic released by Lionsgate to come out in the States.
Yeah. You know, that, speaking of which, that's all the Lionsgate releases
Yep,
that we've
indeed.
covered so far. Aside from Clifford and Thomas, that was pretty much it.
Yep, I think that means we are done. If you want to go ahead and stop, that's fine. I mean, it's already 10:25. If you want to go ahead and stop, that's fine.
Stay tuned for another stream coming up, I believe, on October 11th or something.
No, I'm doing just one stream. You can do the Warner Bros. Thing on October 4th.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, October 4th.
October 4th. The Warner Bros. DVD collection.
So, yep, I'm going to go and go, Flicker. Thanks for having me on.
All right. So, as for that, I won't be able to stream on October 18th because I have something coming up, but I will get back to streaming on October 25th after I do one more on October 4th. Anyway, before I sign off, I have a music show on October 18th, so I won't be able to stream on October 11th or October 18th because I will be doing another stream next week on the 4th. October 11th and October 18th, I won't be doing any streams, and then I will come back to doing one on October 25th. So, hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. I'll see you guys later.